I am a shopping maniac, shopping online every day. That day, I was unpacking a package at home as usual, and suddenly I found a breast pump. What the hell? When did I buy this thing? When my husband and I got married, we agreed not to have children and be dinks. My first reaction was that I took the wrong package, and I was going to send it back to someone else. I looked at the information on the express delivery slip, and it turned out to be my husband's name and phone number. A breast pump bought by my husband? What did he buy this for? I looked at it and it was a foreign brand. I knew it was expensive at the quality of workmanship, and there was a pack of breast pads in the box. Before I came to my senses, my husband opened the door and came in. He saw that I was holding a breast pump in my hand and immediately snatched it away. Who told you to move it? My husband yelled at me. After so many years of marriage, he has never treated me like this. Realizing that he had lost his composure, my husband adjusted his panic and explained, "My colleague's wife just gave birth to a baby. This is a gift for their son. I yelled at you because I was afraid you would break it." "I'm sorry." He stuffed the breast pump into the box. I said oh, as if nothing had happened, and continued to open my package. But the seeds of suspicion were planted. My husband is the company's security director and has a strong psychological quality. I have never seen him so nervous before. Also, if it was a gift for a colleague's son, shouldn't he buy baby clothes and toys? Why did he buy a breast pump and breast pads for mothers? So, my husband lied. My husband came back and started taking a shower. While he was taking a shower, I took his phone and looked through it. It turned out to be all work-related information and chat records with me, and nothing else. Is it true that this breast pump was given to a colleague's son, as he said? My husband has always been a straight man and doesn't know how to choose gifts. I was relieved a little. Maybe I was overthinking. My name is Li Haiyin, and I met my husband Li Jing through a blind date. When we met, the first thing I said was, "I don't like having children, and I plan to be a dink. If you can accept it, let's continue chatting." "Okay, no problem. If every marriage is just for having a child, then life is boring." He agreed very readily at the time. Later, after we got to know each other, we found that we were in harmony with each other and finally got married. For more than 10 years of marriage, we have been in harmony and inseparable. I was about to put down my phone when a message popped up on WeChat. "My breasts are swelling so much, and my son's appetite is too small." Before I could react, several more text messages came in. "Has the breast pump you bought not arrived yet? No. Come and help me tonight. If you keep doing this, I'm going to get mastitis." I was struck by lightning. I saw that the person's WeChat name was Mitauzi, and my husband didn't give her a note. Scrolling up, she and her husband had no conversation, only these few messages that had just been sent. I thought it must have been deleted by my husband. I was about to continue scrolling, but I heard the sound of the bathroom door opening. I was so scared that I immediately exited and set the message as unread. He had returned to his usual gentleness and said to me softly, "In the afternoon, the company will hold an annual safety meeting, which may last until late. Don't wait for me for dinner. Eat it yourself, okay? Don't worry about me." I felt mixed emotions in my heart, but my appearance was calm. I watched my husband dress elegantly, exuding the unique charm of a mature man in his every move. A well-tailored suit made him look energetic. Which woman would not be fascinated by such a man? I was too careless. I always thought that our love would last forever, but I didn't know that our relationship had cracked in the ordinary days, day after day. My husband put on his clothes, stretched out his long arm, took the phone on the table, and took a look. Then I saw his brows frowned and his expression was a little anxious. "Haiyin, there is something urgent at the company. I have to go over to deal with it. Go quickly. Be careful on the road." I knew that he was just making up a lie after seeing the message sent to him by the mistress, but I could only follow his words. "I'll take the gift first, and give it to my colleague when we meet in the afternoon." My husband picked up the box of the breast pump and hurried out. As soon as he left, my emotions immediately collapsed, and tears could not stop flowing down. No, I have to find out. Crying is useless, I thought to myself. I quickly sorted out my emotions, put on my coat and went out. Master, follow the car in front. As soon as I left the community gate, I immediately took a taxi. Although I can drive, my skills are not very good, and I will definitely lose it if I follow the car. So it is safer to take a taxi. Okay, ma'am. The driver was a middle-aged man in his 50s. When he heard that I was going to catch a cheating couple, he drove forward with all his strength. It was the peak time for students to go to school, and the road was busy. My husband's car did not go far. We followed my husband's car all the way and entered a newly delivered residential area in the city. Maybe because the house was just delivered not long ago and everything was not formal yet, the security guard did not stop us from entering. I watched my husband park the car in front of a building, get out of the car and walk to the lobby of the building with the breast pump box. I got out of the taxi immediately, put on a mask, hat, and big sunglasses and followed him. I deliberately waited until he entered the elevator before showing up. I watched the number on the elevator go up until it reached the 16th floor, and the number stopped increasing. When the elevator came down, I stepped in and then pressed the number 16. Ding! We arrived at the 16th floor. My heart was beating so fast, and I couldn't control my nervousness. This is a 2-elevator, 2-family apartment. The space between the elevator and the entrance door is equivalent to a private space, and the decoration can be freely played. Perhaps because of this reason, my husband did not close the entrance door, leaving a wide gap. I looked at the door open on the side of the entrance shoe cabinet that reached the ceiling, and immediately hid next to the shoe cabinet. Because the door was not closed, I could see everything in the living room through the grill of the shoe cabinet. I saw that my husband had his back to me, and a woman was sitting on the sofa, wearing a pink pajamas, and her face was just blocked by my husband. The woman was crying quietly. Don't cry. You can't cry during the confinement period. I will help you first. If you don't handle the milk swelling well, you will get inflammation, and fever will be troublesome. You can study how to use the breast pump later, my husband said gently, took off his suit jacket again, knelt on one knee, and started to help. I was so shocked that my jaw dropped. It was not just because of my husband Li Jing's behavior, and the face that was exposed when my husband bent down. Su Xiaotao, my best friend, a woman 2 years older than me, a woman who has been divorced twice and whose appearance and family background are not as good as mine. My husband and my best friend had an affair and gave birth to a son. I was betrayed by both love and friendship. Suddenly, I felt that the world was so dark and the whole world seemed to collapse. I stood there in a daze, as if struck by lightning. The plot in the TV series was actually happening to me. Are you feeling better? My husband asked softly. Much better, Brother Jing. Can you spend more time with me? My son needs you too. He lacks a sense of security when you are not around, and he always wakes up in his sleep. I don't expect you to love us mother and son as much as you love Hyen. You just need to give us a little bit of your love for her. If Hyen knows about us mother and son, you will say that I am the one who is pestering her and you are completely passive. I don't ask for any status. You don't have to have any psychological burden, and you can't abandon Hyen. I love you. It's my business. It has nothing to do with you. Su Xiaotao said one after another. Her tone was like a great white lotus in the prosperous age. This is completely different from the Su Xiaotao in front of me. Su Xiaotao is my college classmate. Because she repeated 2 years, she is 2 years older than me. We were very good friends in college. We went to class, ate, watched movies, participated in club activities, etc. Together. We were good sisters who talked about everything. After graduation, Su Xiaotao chose to stay in this city, and said that I was a local and asked me to protect her in the future. In my eyes, Su Xiaotao is lively, cheerful, helpful, and sunny. It's a pity that she got married twice. but both times ended in failure. We have always maintained a very close contact. In the past year or so, Su Xiaotao did not meet me on the grounds that she was busy with work. It turned out that she secretly entangled with my husband and gave birth to a son with him. Wow! A baby's cry interrupted my thoughts and brought me back to reality. Brother Jing, the son is awake. You should take him out quickly, Su Xiaotao said to her husband. My husband then walked to the bedroom, and soon he took out a little baby. Xiaotao, he may be hungry. You should feed him some milk. Okay, Brother Jing. Su Xiaotao took the child and started feeding. Wow, the child kept crying. What should I do, Brother Jing? He keeps crying and won't eat. Put him down. Is he uncomfortable? My husband gently unwrapped the blue blanket and opened the diaper to check. Xiaotao, he just peed. Just change the diaper. So that's the case. Haha. Su Xiaotao snuggled in her husband's arms. What a happy family of three. Then what am I? On the way here, I thought a lot. I thought my husband's cheating partner must be a young, beautiful, and naive girl in her early 20s. But I didn't expect that he cheated on a 41-year-old woman. A woman who was 1 year older than him and divorced twice. They don't look good together. And this woman is my best friend. How embarrassed I am. I can't understand why this happened. I really want to rush in, reveal their true colors, scratch their faces, and see how they explain to me. But I got scared after just 2 steps. I never knew how to quarrel since I was a child. Every time I quarreled, I couldn't win. I would start crying. When I was in college, I quarreled with a bully senior sister. I cried after just a few words. In the end, it was Su Xiaotao who helped me win the quarrel. Now I think about it, and it's really a sigh. So, before I was fully prepared, I couldn't let them know that I had discovered their affair. I turned and entered the elevator and quickly left this place of right and wrong. Back to this home where my husband and I have lived for more than 10 years. I always thought it was our happy love nest. Unexpectedly, my husband also had a family with another woman outside. The man who vowed to be a dink with me has secretly had a son with someone else. It's ridiculous. After calming down, although I was still very shocked and angry, I was very reluctant to leave this man resolutely. I don't know what kind of mentality others have after discovering that their husbands have cheated, but at this moment I just want to be an ostrich and don't want to face this fact. I even thought, why don't we 3 just live like this? And I will always pretend I don't know. I fell asleep with the quilt covering my head, and when I woke up it was already the next morning. I picked up the phone under my pillow and saw that my husband had sent me a message last night, saying that he had something to do at the company and would not come back to sleep at night. TSK, are you too lazy to change your excuse? He must be enjoying family happiness at Su Xiaodao's house. I rubbed my sleepy eyes and prepared to get up and wash. Ding dong, ding dong. The doorbell rang. Who could it be at this time? I got up to open the door, and when the door opened, I was shocked. I saw Su Xiaotao holding the child and appearing in front of me with a lot of bags. Hien, I am homeless, so I can only come to you for help, Su Xiaotao said miserably, and came in with the child. Just like before. He didn't consider himself an outsider. Is he here to force the emperor to abdicate? Xiaotao, what are you doing? Hien, we will live in this room. Help me move my things in, Su Xiaotao said as she put the child on the big bed in the guest bedroom. Then she pulled me to go outside with her to move the luggage. If she had any difficulties before, I would definitely be the first to rush to her. But what is the situation now? She slept with my man, gave birth to a son with him, and then moved into my house openly. She thought she had kept it a secret, and she thought I didn't know about it. Does she think I'm a fool? I looked at Su Xiaodao's face, which was obviously the same as before, but I couldn't see what was going on under the skin. Hien, I was abandoned by a bad man. I gave him a son, but he didn't love me anymore and kicked us out of the house. I can only come to you. I hope your brother Jing doesn't mind. Su Xiaotao made up a story with details. Of course he doesn't mind. He's looking forward to you two coming. What a great Su Xiaotao. She told the man that she doesn't want a name, but she lives in the original wife's house with her child. Good. Let me see what drama you two are going to play. In the evening, when my husband came home from get off work, he saw Su Xiaotao holding the child and feeding in the living room, and his expression froze immediately. It seems that Su Xiaotao didn't greet my husband. Hien. You. My husband stuttered rarely, probably thinking that Su Xiaotao had already told me. Su Xiaotao said that this is your son, and you have to take responsibility. I deliberately provoked them. My husband and Su Xiaotao were shocked at the same time. Hien, listen to my explanation, my husband said nervously. Hien, what nonsense are you talking about? Su Xiaotao was anxious. They both spoke at the same time, and they really had a tacit understanding. I was just kidding you. Look how scared you two are. If you don't know, you two would think you two are really having an affair. I said this in a casual way, but my eyes were fixed on the two of them. Sure enough, both of them were very panicked, afraid that they would be exposed, and I looked at their reactions with smugness, my eyes full of sneers. Hien, you can eat whatever you want, but you really can't say anything you want. It will kill people. Su Xiaotao said hypocritically. That's right, Hien. How can you make such a joke? It's not funny at all. When my husband heard that I didn't know the truth yet, he immediately relaxed and spoke fluently. In this way, Su Xiaotao and her son lived in my house. My husband and I lived in the master bedroom, and she and her son lived in the guest bedroom. We were like his wife and concubine, and my husband enjoyed the care of two women like an emperor. How ridiculous. I woke up in the middle of the night and went to the bathroom. I found that my husband was not around. I walked to the door of the guest bedroom and found a faint light coming out from inside, and there were voices talking. Brother Jing, I look forward to your return every day at home. My son also needs his father's company, so I moved here without saying hello to you. I know this is unfair to Hien, but we have already given birth to our son. We can't just stuff him back. It's good for us to live here and watch you from afar. I dare not compete with Hien for favor. I just ask you to come to this room to rest when you are tired. That's enough. I know I am unforgivable and despised by others, but who made you so outstanding? I love you to the point of madness and heartbreak. Please forgive my ignorance, okay? Then I heard Su Xiaotao's faint crying. I never knew Su Xiaotao could be so green-tea. Xiaotao, don't cry, don't cry. Feelings are not autonomous. It's not your fault. I provoked you. I made you have a child. Don't worry, I won't wrong you and your son. I will divorce Hien and let you and your son be by my side openly. My husband's magnetic voice sounded, but the words he said made me feel like I was falling into an ice cave. Brother Jing, you haven't touched me for a long time since I got pregnant. Don't leave tonight. Stay with me. Okay, Xiaotao. I'm only happy in front of you. Hien is always cold, like an ice cube, and I can't warm her up no matter how I cover her. My husband complained slowly. Only I understand you. Su Xiaotao said bitchy. Soon there were strange sounds in the room. I silently returned to the master bedroom and lay on the bed, but I was no longer sleepy. Am I too cold? Am I too restrained? I have always believed that men and women should not be too indulgent even between husband and wife. Is this why my husband got together with Su Xiaotao? After a long time, my husband came back from that room, hugged me from behind, and continued to sleep. In this way, we lived a strange threesome life. But the next day, I got an explosive news: I was pregnant. My menstruation has always been on time, but now it has been delayed for 5 days. My husband and I have been using contraception, but last month, on my birthday, my husband and I drank some red wine and did not take any measures. I got pregnant at once. I stared at the pregnancy test stick with 2 bars in a daze. When we got married, we agreed not to have children and be dinks. I didn't expect to get pregnant at this time, when I just learned that my husband had an affair with his best friend and had a son. God is really a joke. I don't know whether to keep this child or not, so I decided to test my husband's attitude. Husband, I'm pregnant. I spoke slowly. The two people eating at the table were stunned at the same time. The first to speak was Su Xiaotao. Hyene, didn't you say you didn't want a child and wanted to be a dink family? Yes. An accidental pregnancy, I said lightly. An accidental pregnancy is not good. You haven't made adequate preparations. The child is likely to be deformed and unhealthy. Su Xiaotao said anxiously. Why do I feel that you are unhappy that I am pregnant? I stared into her eyes and said, no way, Hyene. I am also thinking about you. Su Xiaotao said a little guilty. I sneered. Was it for my sake or was it because he was afraid that I would snatch her son's glory after giving birth? Li Hyene, this child can't be kept. We are not prepared for pregnancy, and we both drank that night. We agreed to be dinks, so we don't want it. My husband said firmly, we have always been in good health, and we only drank 2 sips of red wine that night. I argued with reason, but I didn't expect my husband's attitude to be so resistant. Li Jing, you don't want our child. Is it because you have already had a son with Su Xiaotao? That bitch. I didn't want to endure it anymore, so I stood up and slammed the table, angrily piercing this window paper. Since you already know, let's get a divorce. My husband said coldly. No wonder he brought Su Xiaotao into the house. It turned out that he was waiting for me here. He had already thought about getting a divorce, just waiting for me to speak. Huh, I sneered at the two of them. Want me to get a divorce? Unless I die. Su Xiaotao was no longer as hypocritical as before. Now that she has a falling out, no one will be able to look good. Hyene, what's the point of you insisting like this? Brother Jing doesn't love you anymore. He loves me, and we already have a child. If you still have a conscience, leave by yourself. Don't make things too ugly. It turns out that there are people whose hearts are so dark. My best friend, my best girlfriend, actually said such disgusting words. I have no conscience? Su Xiaotao, have you forgotten how I helped you when you got divorced? Now you are trying to steal my husband. Do you still have any shame? Now you are asking me to leave. You are a stinking bitch. Li Hyene. My husband was furious and suddenly rushed to me. Who are you scolding? I love Xiaotao now. If you know better, you can leave on your own initiative. I can still give you some of the family property. If you force it to go to court, I will make you lose everything. You can try. I won't fall for their tricks. I fought hard with him to build the kingdom. Why should I leave? I don't know how I walked out of the house. When I realized that I was unwell, I had already fallen on the road. It was passers-by who sent me to the hospital. The child was gone, and I had difficulty conceiving in the first place, and I was afraid that it would be even more difficult in the future. I woke up and looked at the empty ward. My heart, as dead as ashes, could no longer stir up a single wave. It turns out that there is really no greater sorrow than a dead heart. The nurse came to the ward and asked me to notify my family, but I couldn't find anyone to call with my phone. In the end, I had no choice but to call my husband. When he heard that I was in the hospital, his first words were not concern, but blamed me for being too busy and wasting money by putting myself in the hospital. Listening to my husband's roar on the other end of the phone and Su Xiaotao constantly shouting that she was hungry, I hung up the phone directly. Why did it come to this? I lay on the hospital bed, thinking about the ups and downs that I had gone through with my husband over the years. I never thought that the two of us would reach this point now. We used to be the golden boy and jade girl that everyone envied. But since when did we have nothing to say to each other? When did there be no love between us? Before I could think of the answer to this question, my husband finally came, and of course Su Xiaotao was with him. Seeing me lying on the hospital bed, Su Xiaotao immediately put on a hypocritical expression. Oh, Hyene, what happened? How did it become like this? My husband took his hands out of his pockets and looked at the bill with an indifferent face. Brother Jing, did I do something wrong? I shouldn't have let Hyene go out to buy fish. I'm sorry. It's my fault that your child is gone. What should I do? I'm sorry. Hearing Su Xiaotao crying, my husband quickly wiped her tears with pity. It's not your fault, okay? Xiaotao, be good. Don't cry. As he said that, my husband glanced at me coldly. If you want to blame someone, blame her herself. She just went out to buy a fish, but she ended up in the hospital. A fishy and sweet feeling surged in my throat, and I clutched the quilt tightly to restrain myself from vomiting. But this is your child, Brother Jing. My husband sneered. It's better to lose the child. This child shouldn't have come in the first place. After saying that, my husband threw the bill in his hand on the bed. You pay for it yourself. I don't have the money to pay for you. My husband was only indifferent to me, but turned to look at Su Xiaotao with a smile on his face. It's all her fault. Xiaotao has been hungry for so long. Let's go. Brother Jing will take you to a big meal. Yeah. Su Xiaotao happily wrapped her arms around my husband's neck and hugged him directly in front of my bed. Brother Jing is the best. Love you. Hyein. Just have a good rest. We will come to see you another day. Leaving a word, Su Xiaotao took her husband's arm and left. With the door of the ward open, I clearly heard the two of them discussing where to have dinner. And these places were once places where my husband and I only dared to hope for but not spend money. A meal in that place is enough for our living expenses for a week. We have been married for 7 years, and he has never taken me to try it. But now he can easily go in and out of such high-end places with other women. And as a wife, he can't even pay for medical expenses. My heart can no longer restrain the overwhelming pain. I spit out a mouthful of blood and collapse on the bed. The bright red blood drips from the corners of my mouth. The hospital must accompany you. There is no way. So I had to call my best friend Wanbei to come over. Wanbei rushed to the hospital and her eyes were red when she saw me for the first time. Holding me tightly in her arms, Wanbei choked and said, "Silly girl, how did you make yourself so embarrassed? What happened? Why didn't you tell me?" When Wanbei was called, I knew that some things could not be concealed. After listening to my story, Wanbei exploded directly. Bitch, bitch. Wanbei cursed angrily. These two adulterers are openly cheating. I bit my lower lip and couldn't say a word. Wanbei didn't say the words of blame after all, and instead stroked my head with heartache. Silly, we are the best sisters. If you are wronged, I am wronged. I feel sorry for you. I nodded, and my dry eyes still shed tears because of the sisterly affection. Wanbei gently wiped away my tears. Silly, now is not the time to cry. Since the couple is so unkind and unjust, we have to do something to retaliate against them. At first I refused. I am a soft-hearted person, let alone fighting with others. Even quarreling will make me blush. But after listening to Wanbei's words, I realized that I was actually a poor guy who was abandoned and wanted to keep things quiet. In the end, it was Wanbei who gave me courage and made me no longer afraid. Obviously they did something wrong. Obviously they are sorry for me. Why can't I take revenge? Touching my flat belly, thinking of the child who has no chance to come into this world, I will definitely make them repent for this child. I was discharged from the hospital a week later. Seeing me back, the two of them still went their own way, without any disturbance or embarrassment because of my appearance. My husband stood in front of me holding Su Xiaotao and the bastard. You can see that our family is very happy now. You should pack up your things and leave. Let me leave. Why? When I bought a house and a car, it was because I believed in him. I thought he would love me forever, but now it's different. I was blind and saw the wrong person. He betrayed our marriage, and he is the one who should leave the house. What if I don't? My husband shrugged. It's okay not to divorce. Let Xiaotao and the child stay, and you take care of them when the time comes. I thought the previous things were enough to shock my 3 views, but my husband's words made me realize what shamelessness is. What is vulgarity? What is a scumbag? Brother Jing, I want to eat grapes. Su Xiaotao was lying on the sofa, shouting like a boss. Li Jing was busy typing code in the study. He was already irritable. When he heard Su Xiaotao's voice, he came out. I was lying on the bed to rest. After the miscarriage, I felt exhausted. Seeing me lying on the bed to rest, Li Jing shouted directly, "Li Haiyin, are you deaf? Didn't you hear Xiao Tao say that she wanted to eat grapes?" I sat up irritably. "There are some in the refrigerator. Then why don't you go and wash them?" "Li Jing, I just had a miscarriage. And you asked me to wash grapes for her? Are you still a human being? I just miscarried a child for him. But he asked me to wash grapes for his mistress. Go quickly. Otherwise, get out." Tears rolled in my eyes. I held back my tears and stood up from the bed with difficulty. I can't just leave like this. I have paid so much for this family. The car and the house are all my property. I am even infertile for life because of him. Why should I leave the house empty-handed? I want to take back everything that belongs to me. Just like Wanbei said, since they are ruthless and ungrateful, don't blame me for being cruel. The water is so cold, but no matter how cold it is, it can't resist the chill in my heart. I only now know that it is so painful for a person to be heartbroken. Since Su Xiaotao moved into the house, I have become a nanny. In addition to work, I have to take care of the 3 meals a day for the 3 of them. Sometimes when I come home late, Li Jing is sarcastic to me, and Su Xiaotao also starts to take advantage of me. Not only asking me to wash the diapers for the children, but also asking me to wash Su Xiaotao's underwear, from childhood to adulthood. Except for Li Jing's underwear, I have never touched other people's underwear, but in order to be able to retaliate against them, I endure it. Doesn't Li Jing want to enjoy the service of his wives and concubines? Okay, then I'll add some ingredients to his food. I want to see if Su Xiaotao can continue with him if he can't do it. At first, my husband and Su Xiaotao would hear wolf howls every night, but as time went by, their voices gradually weakened, and then Su Xiaotao's impatient voice was heard. The 2 people who were inseparable began to have a gap. I enjoyed it, but I always pretended that I didn't know anything, and endured washing and cooking for the 2 of them, until that night, Su Xiaotao rushed out of the bedroom angrily. I haven't slept well for a long time, and I have been observing their every move. When I heard the sound, I opened my eyes immediately, and then I heard Su Xiaotao's curse. "Li Jing, you are still a man. What are you doing? Are you tired of me? You have been tired or annoyed these 2 days. If you are impatient, let's break up. I can't live without you." Li Jing followed her out immediately and coaxed her anxiously. "Xiao Tao, no, listen to my explanation. I just took a new case recently, so I am really tired. Don't be angry. I promise I will never be angry again. I will just rest for a few days. Get out of here." After Su Xiaotao cursed a few times, there was the sound of packing up, and the sound of slamming the door, and the world was finally quiet. You can't stand it? It seems that the relationship between them is just like this. Food, sex and nature are also human nature. What Su Xiaotao coveted was just to find happiness and money from her husband. Sure enough, Su Xiaotao came back the next night, and she was carrying a new bag again. I checked online and found that this bag cost 70,000 yuan. 70,000 yuan. My husband bought it for her so easily, but he refused to pay for my hospitalization for miscarriage. Is this the difference between love and not love? I told Wanbei about this, and Wanbei thought I was too soft-hearted. I just put some clomiphene in the rice to make their lives less exciting. Next time, just put rat poison directly. Let this pair of dogs die together, Wanbei said viciously. I sighed helplessly. Sister, that's illegal. I'm going to get myself into trouble for a pair of dogs? That's right. Wanbei nodded. It's not worth it. I thought about it. By the way, Bebe, do you have a friend who is a private detective? Well, a private detective doesn't count. At most he's a paparazzi. That's fine. Help me make an appointment. Let him check Li Jing and Su Xiaotao in advance. I have to change my strategy. Wanbei nodded. Okay, don't worry. I'll let him handle it. Soon, news came from Wanbei's friend. It turns out that Su Xiaotao had more than one marriage before, and she made a lot of money from men in each marriage, and my husband is just one of her many men, and it is not certain whether the child is Li Jing. When I got home, my husband was about to go out with Su Xiaotao. They were dressed brightly and beautifully, especially my husband, who was in high spirits. Haiyin, you are back. Su Xiaotao greeted me with flying eyebrows. By the way, there is an agreement on the table. Please sign it. After that, my husband took Su Xiaotao away. There was a divorce agreement in the living room, and the reason for the divorce was that I was the party at fault for infertility, so I had to leave the house with nothing. Infertility. How did I become infertile? Doesn't he know? Since they have reached the stage of divorce, then what else is there to remember? Li Jing always thought that the child was his, so I broke this dream myself. I quickly called a private detective and asked her to investigate the hospital where Su Xiaotao went. After getting the results, I went to the hospital immediately. I asked the doctor as Su Xiaotao's sister, but was told that Su Xiaotao's child's blood type was O type. O type? Li Jing and Su Xiaotao are both AB type. How could they give birth to an O-type child? So, the child is not Li Jing's. While the two were not at home, I secretly put the checklist under Su Xiaotao's pillow, and then went out. I said I needed to be quiet, and I would consider the divorce. My husband was thinking about marrying Su Xiaotao, and he agreed readily after hearing what I said. When I returned to Wanbei's residence, I turned on the surveillance and prepared to watch the show. In order to collect evidence, I had installed a pinhole camera at home, but I didn't expect to have such a good show today. After the two of them had a fight, Su Xiaotao went to take a shower. Li Jing turned over and suddenly found the birth certificate under the pillow. Seeing the birth certificate, Li Jing took out his phone to check it again, and then rushed into the bathroom angrily. Although there was only sound, it was obvious that the two were arguing. Wanbei was eating fries and drinking beer on the side, and was extremely happy. This Li Jing turned out to be a scapegoat. Me. Now it's good. You don't want your own child, but you actually let others become a father. Get a divorce quickly and leave this idiot. The stupidest man in the world. Idiot. Okay. I looked at Wanbei helplessly. This is just the first step. I still have a big move later. Wanbei came up excitedly. I didn't expect that you are a completely different person now. You are now Nyohulu Haiyin. Kill this pair of dogs and bitches. Soon, I sent the photos of Su Xiaotao with each man separately to each man. I know that many men will not make a big deal out of being cheated by women. After all, what they care most about is face. But if the amount of money Su Xiaotao defrauded is exposed, these men will explode instantly. Not only did she cheat on her feelings, but she also cheated on her money. I packed the other one and sent it to the police station. Soon, someone from the police station came to the door. Su Xiaotao was arrested for fraud, and Li Jing didn't know what happened yet. He was still communicating with the police with a confused face. He was really infatuated. He just brushed off the blood type of Su Xiaotao's child in a few words. Now Su Xiaotao has evidence of the crime, but he still doesn't believe it. Until later, Li Jing and some other deceived men were called to the police station to cooperate with the investigation. After a group of men met, Li Jing finally believed it. The Xiaotao in his mind turned out to be a complete liar, cheating on feelings and finally cheating on money. After returning from the police station that day, Li Jing got drunk and vomited in the toilet for half the night. I sat in the living room, listening to the crying and making noises from the bathroom, accompanied by bursts of vomiting, and I couldn't help but raise the corners of my mouth. So sad? It doesn't matter. You will be with your dear Xiaotao soon. Su Xiaotao was sentenced to 10 years in prison because the amount of fraud was too high and several victims did not forgive her and even asked for an increase in sentence. After dealing with Su Xiaotao, the next one was Li Jing. This matter was so big that the news that Li Jing was cheated of 1 million quickly spread around, and his unit also noticed the signs. That day, while Li Jing was resting at home, I went to his company. In fact, there was no need to say much. I just told the situation at home and the relationship between Li Jing and Su Xiaotao, and the leader understood. Li Jing, who had been drunk for 3 days, finally recovered. But when he recovered, I shouted and told him the bad news. "Honey, it's bad. You're being sued by the company." Li Jing was confused, and he hadn't recovered from the alcohol. "Me? What's wrong with me? Why are you suing me?" I shook my head. "It seems to be because of something like embezzlement of public funds." Li Jing's eyes trembled, and he immediately turned over and got out of bed. No, I'm running away." Li Jing packed his things and was about to leave. After he left, I immediately called 110 and told the police that Li Jing was going to escape. Seeing him leave, I asked behind him, "Honey, where are you going? What happened?" After Su Xiaodao's accident, Li Jing finally looked me in the eye. "Haiyin, something happened to me and I have to leave. Don't tell the police. Do you hear me?" I was confused. After Li Jing left, I made myself a hearty lunch. I even opened a bottle of red wine to celebrate. Just after dinner, the police called. Li Jing was caught, but during the escape, Li Jing's car overturned, causing him to be seriously injured and hospitalized. When I rushed to the hospital, the operation was still going on. While waiting, several waves of people from the police came, all asking about my husband's condition and expressing condolences to me. I wiped my tears and pretended to be sad, but fireworks were secretly set off in my heart. After the operation, Li Jing's spinal injury might cause paralysis. A month later, Li Jing was discharged from the hospital and was summoned by the court. In the end, Li Jing was sued by the company for embezzlement of public funds and sentenced to 9 years in prison. When the trial results came out, I became the object of sympathy for everyone. I covered my mouth and pretended to be injured because I was afraid that I would laugh unconsciously. This pair of dogs and bitches? Oh, no, it should be this pair of prison dogs and bitches can finally reunite in prison.